Hey, I'm Reinhard Kate, and welcome to episode 30 of the Ripple Drop. We've got Ripple's head of impact, Ken Weber. He's going to talk about all things climate, carbon markets, and sustainability. So, as the head of Ripple Impact, what's its mission?
Ripple Impact has a broad mission, and I'm really excited about all of it. First and foremost, we're focused on empowering our employees to get involved in impact through volunteering and giving and purpose-driven projects. We're also very committed to research and innovation. We have partnerships with more than 50 universities worldwide who are modifying courses and engaging in research and technical development and career development around financial technologies. That's part of the University Blockchain Research Initiative, which has been around now for almost 5 years. And over the past couple of years, we've really started leaning into sustainability. So we've made a corporate net zero commitment. We're very excited about moving the crypto industry towards sustainability. And we're looking at how blockchain technologies can have a positive impact on the fight against climate change.
You talked about sustainability. What's Ripple's environmental sustainability strategy?
So our strategy has 3 pillars. First, we've made a corporate net zero commitment to be carbon neutral by 2030. That means reducing our emissions in our offices, in our travel, and with our vendors around the world. It also means purchasing high quality carbon offsets for the emissions that we haven't yet reduced. So we've made the 2030 commitment, we're on track for 2028, and we'll go even faster if we can. Secondly, we're trying to be industry leaders within crypto to ensure that blockchain and cryptocurrency are not contributing to higher emissions, but also so that those technologies can be deployed to be part of solutions as the world moves to a lower carbon economy. Finally, we're very excited about the application of blockchain in carbon markets. We think blockchain addresses some of the most persistent challenges in carbon markets around trust and transparency and liquidity, as well as efficiency and equity. And so we're very excited about the deployment of the XRP Ledger by carbon removal companies and climate-focused fintechs to help scale and accelerate the activity in carbon markets.
Ken, you touched on this very briefly, but it's obvious Ripple's been working really hard within the blockchain and crypto industry to just push on initiatives to lessen the impacts of climate change. Can you talk about some more of the initiatives in a little bit more detail that are doing that?
Sure. And I should say that we're not sustainability or climate experts. And so we started within the community with NGOs and practitioners, carbon removers, entrepreneurs, innovators, to have our strategy be informed and led by the true stakeholders in the community. So from a philanthropic standpoint, we are funding projects that are being led by environmental organizations like Rocky Mountain Institute, the Lexicon of Sustainability. We're looking at things like, how does the data architecture for this marketplace need to change to accommodate explosions in demand, but also a real explosion in supply and a diversification of supply. Secondly, we are funding and collaborating with innovative carbon removal companies, as well as climate-focused fintechs who may be creating new marketplaces for carbon credits and other ecological projects. We're very excited about the work we're doing with some of the carbon removal companies who have a need to put their inventory. They're creating carbon credits and other products that are climate positive, and they're very excited about putting that inventory onto the blockchain. And so we're actively working with them to get those products onto the XRP Ledger. We've also made a number of equity investments in those companies. We think that infusions of capital into carbon removal and into market architecture are going to give us a better chance to meet globally agreed climate fighting goals.
What's a carbon market? What does it do? Why do we need it?
So there are 2 kinds of carbon markets globally. One is a regulated market, which is governed by multilateral institutions and governments, and it's really for countries. There is an open marketplace called the voluntary carbon market, and that is more for buyers of carbon who are corporates and institutional investors who want to start to offset their emissions, and even in some cases offset historical emissions. So those buyers can go to market and choose from an array of carbon credits or other climate positive, carbon negative products, and they can pay anywhere from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars for those products. And what they're in essence doing is funding the liability that they have around the emissions that they have emitted or plan to emit over time. And it's a balancing act. And over time, the idea of carbon markets is that in purchasing those products, we are injecting much needed capital into the most promising, scalable, climate positive companies and projects so that we can win the war against climate change.
You talked about carbon markets. Within a carbon market, ultimately you're getting a carbon credit. Can you explain how that works and what that is?
Sure. It's complicated, but in essence, a carbon credit is a unit of value. It's a product essentially that is tied to a ton of carbon that has been removed from the Earth's atmosphere. And depending on how much it costs to accomplish that, the carbon credit itself could be $5, it could be $500. So not cutting down a tree is pretty low cost, or planting a tree is pretty low cost. Doing years of R&D to develop a machine that sucks carbon out of the air and puts it into the ground, into geothermal systems forever, a little bit more expensive. So the credits that you're going to buy there are going to cost more. And it's not just carbon removal. There are other methodologies, both nature and science-based, that are really exciting. They're connected to things like air quality and soil biodiversity. Blue carbon is something that's happening in the oceans. There are also the Sustainable Development Goals, which touch on a number of sort of co-benefits to this climate positive activity, may have an impact on a poor country's ability to offset its debt by doing land stewardship and ecotourism and conservation. So we're going from a highly commodified market with a lot of forestry-based credits to a decommodified and broadly diversified market with lots of different kinds of nature and science-based activities, which in aggregate will accelerate our progress towards meeting 2050 climate targets.
Wow. Well, Professor Weber, what are you most excited about with all these things that you've covered? Ripple, you're getting involved in a lot and it's phenomenal. What excites you the most?
I mean, frankly, I'm excited about all the energy and some of the capital that follows that energy. The number of entrepreneurs and developers who are charging into this space to develop ideas and technologies that are going to help everybody and to make climate change less of an existential challenge. Both within Ripple, where engineers and marketers and corporate development folks, they're all coming forward to kind of work on these projects, to the proliferation of startups that are doing carbon removal, also fintechs that are now focused on carbon markets, and they're trying to help organize the financialization of carbon and of fighting climate change, which is expected to be one of the, if not the largest reallocation of both financial and human resources in human history.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much, Ken.